Hi YouTubers, welcome back to DonnyBoy73. Today I'm going to show you how to replace the steering cable on your Craftsman Snowblower. And here's a full view of the snowblower. Now this video will also apply if you have a Husqvarna Snowblower that looks the same. And the cable I'm talking about is located up here. Here's the handle for it, and this is to make your snowblower easier to steer. And on this snowblower, the cable is broken right at the bottom. As you can see, the cable goes right up to this little lever here, and there's one on each side. Now the cable on the other side is still good. Today I'm just going to be replacing the one on the left side of the blower, but the same procedure will apply if you had to replace both cables. Now it's going to be much easier to work on your snowblower if it's tilted up like this. And before you do this, you may want to turn off the fuel valve over here underneath the fuel tank. And you may want to run the engine until the gas is right out of the carb, because if you don't do that, there will be a bit of gas leaking from under here. Now the only amount of fuel that will leak if the fuel shutoff valve is off is just what is left in the carb. After that, it will stop leaking. But always work safe and make sure that you contain any fuel that is leaking. Now the first thing you want to do in this operation is remove the wheel on the side that the cable is broken. In this case today it's the wheel on the left hand side, so I'll show you how to remove the wheel first. All you have to do is remove the pin that's in here, and to do that just lift the spring loaded clip here and then pull down. Now unless your wheel has seized to the shaft, it should come off fairly easy. Just pull out. So here's where the broken cable used to attach to. This part here, it would go right through, and then the cable would go down inside this part here and attach to something in there. So it's broken inside there, so what we have to do is remove the plastic cover here. Now to remove this cover here, you're going to have to take off this 5/16 bolt here, and there's another one right at the bottom here. And I'm just going to use a nut driver for this because the bolts aren't that hard to remove. And as you can see, the cover will easily come off. Now if I look closely inside, I can see where the cable snapped off. Right down here, you can see where it's hooked in over here, and that's where it's severed. So at this point here, I'm going to remove the old cable, and then I'll show you how to reinstall the new one. So at this point here, I'm just going to remove the old end of the cable. You basically just have to twist it out of the hole like this. And that's the part that came off. And now with my 5/16 nut driver, I'm going to remove the bolt on the handlebars. And once that bolt's off, the whole lever is going to come off. And now you can pull the cable right out. Now that you've got the old cable off, let's reinstall the new one. And here's my cable. It comes complete with the lever. And the part number for this cable is 188303. That's how you can locate the part number on your cable, is by looking on the outer casing of it for that number. So to begin the installation, I'm going to run the cable through here where it was previously. And you want to grab your cable and make sure it's going the right direction. Now what you want to do is line up the hole on the mechanism here to the hole on the handlebars. It can only go one way because, as you can see, it's rounded right here. And once you've got it lined up, just insert the bolt and start it off. And now you can tighten up the bolt. Make sure it's fairly tight, but don't over tighten it because you could strip the threads. And now you can see I've got the cable running out of the way of the other cables for the chute. So I'm going to run it down by the handlebars. Later on, when I'm done, I'm going to put another tie wrap to securely hold it to the handlebars. Now to remove the old plastic casing from the old cable, just grab a pair of needle nose pliers and squeeze the little two tabs over here. Once you've got them squeezed, just pull up and it's going to come out. Now what you want to do is install the end of the cable in the hole down here. You may want to move this up ahead like this, and the cable will go in this way. So move it up like that, and then insert the cable, bring it up like this. Now you can let it go down. The next thing you want to do is insert the plastic casing here into the metal plate here. So just grab the cable, pull up, make sure that the rubber boot is down at the bottom for now. Now squeeze the cable in the groove. Put the casing in there and just push until you hear it click. and now it's secure. And now you can reattach the boot just like that, and it's done. And now I'm going to put a tie wrap to secure the cable on the handlebars. And so that it's clean looking, I'm just going to snip the end of the tie wrap. So at this point in the operation, the cable is fully installed. It's secure up here. It goes all the way down the handlebars. Comes out underneath over here, as you can see. There's the tie wrap I just put on, and then it goes to the mechanism on the wheel over here. Now before I put the plastic cover back on, I'm going to put a bit of grease over here and a bit of grease on the mechanism here where the cable hooks onto. And what I'm using today is a low temp grease. What I mean by low temp grease is that it's going to stay soft even if it's minus 40 outside. I'm just going to stick a bit over here and a bit on the shaft as well so my wheel does not seize on the shaft. We all know how hard it is to get a wheel off when it's seized on the snowblower shaft. And I'm just going to put a bit of grease here around the moving parts. You can also put a bit of oil there if you want to as well. Now I'm going to reinstall the plastic cover that goes over here. And when you reinstall the cover, you want to make sure that the cable goes through the groove here. And now I'm going to reinstall the two bolts that hold it. There's one over here and one at the bottom here. And now at this point you can reinstall the wheel. Now when you look at the wheel, you're going to notice that on one side there's grooves on the hub here, and you want to make sure that these grooves line up to some of the notches here inside this part. So when you put the wheel back on the shaft, just turn it until it goes right into the notches. You'll know that the wheel is put on properly when you move it, and you can hear the gears inside the transmission. And all that's left to do now is to reinstall the pin, put your snowblower back down, and you're all done. And now if you want to see if your cable is installed properly, just depress the lever on the side you replace the cable, and the blower should be easy to move from side to side. The purpose of these levers here is to make your snowblower a lot easier to turn from left to right. If you didn't have the power steering option, it would be a lot harder to turn the blower because the wheels would be jammed like this. And as soon as you press the lever, it makes the wheels turn a lot easier. So thanks again for watching. Hopefully my video has helped you to identify a problem on your snowblower. And remember that it's always free to subscribe to my channel, and please do so because I'm always posting new videos on a weekly basis. So take care, and we'll see you next time.